Nosferatu comes to us from writer and director Robert Eggers, the A24 horror icon behind The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman, based on the silent German expressionist classic which was in turn a ripoff of Dracula by Bram Stoker. The vampire is now played by Bill Skarsgård. Nicholas Hoult is the guy who must do business with this obviously not human client. Hey, wasn't he already in an unofficial Dracula movie? And the all-star cast of humans also includes Lily Rose Depp, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Willem Dafoe. Well, if there was any remake that was right for Eggers, it was something like this, an old-timey expressionist horror film, and he nails the vibe of updating it for a modern audience. This nails the gothic horror tone. It all looks dark and creepy, and the production design helps sell it. It looks like the period it's set in, which probably shouldn't be surprising for Eggers. Period authenticity is sort of his thing. But the actual vampire stuff, which is done with mostly practical effects, looks just as good. It all helps to create a sense of dread. This isn't about cheap scares. The creepiest moments are the quietest ones. Bill Skarsgård gives a scary horror villain performance yet again, sort of like an opposite of his Pennywise in the sense that he's brooding as opposed to Pennywise's clownish demeanor. Lily Rose Depp also steals the show with an intense performance as a woman possessed. And it's all beautifully shot. Lots of great looking shots, and scenes that are filmed in ways that increase the dread. It's a faithful adaptation of the German expressionist style combined with what audiences have come to expect in modern period pieces and horror. More realism, but also more scares. It also means more violence and nudity. This may not be as good as the original classic, but did that one show Nosferatu's dick? I didn't think so. Come back when you're ready to be an adult. Unfortunately, it also kinda drags a little. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes long, and it doesn't always feel like it needs to be that length. Not even the eye candy can distract from how much the plot slows down at points. But despite that, this is more than just a cynical horror remake. It's an auteur's retelling of it. It's creepy, and it has great production design and acting. This is a movie that will probably be brought up in conversations about Nosferatu as a whole for quite some time.
Shall pay, Black Prince. I curse you with my name. You shall be Blackula. Blackula.
The Brutalist is from director Brady Corbett, who also wrote it along with Mona Fastvold. In it, Adrien Brody plays a Hungarian architect and Holocaust survivor who immigrates to America after the war, in a movie that's over 3.5 hours long and features an intermission, which was a welcome addition. A great time to get up, walk around, go to the bathroom, refill my drink. Intermissions should be brought back for long movies. And as far as 3.5 hour movies go, this one, I guess there have been worse in terms of self-indulgence. It still feels like maybe they should have cut out some stuff, but not nearly as much as some other long dramas. Basically on par with, let's say, Oppenheimer. I guess I had that feeling just because it's an R-rated period piece of a man's life where a big part of it is him and his crew away from society trying to build something big. It's a shallow comparison, I know. I hate how I have this "it's too long" complaint for both movies I'm reviewing. It makes me look like a tool with no attention span. Maybe Nosferatu's 2-hour, 12-minute runtime would be better suited for this movie. Actually, no, it might still need to be a little longer than that. Either way, it's sort of worth it in the theater just for the experience of the intermission. Anyway, length aside, this is a very well-made movie. Adrien Brody gives a great performance. He has the emotional range to sell this character, his highs and his lows. And the scope is huge. It really sells the period setting across decades. And the cinematography is often beautiful. It's split into 2 chapters, separated by an intermission and then an epilogue. Oh yeah, and I guess the beginning before the title card could be considered a prologue, though it isn't really labeled that way. The first half is a little more upbeat. There is still a lot of dark stuff that happens, but if it was to stop right after this, it would be considered an inspirational story about an immigrant making it in the land of opportunities. But the second half is darker, to the point where some parts may be seen as exploitative. I admit I didn't hate it as much here as when the same plot point was done in Joker Folie à Deux. I don't know whether or not it should have been put in, but it did contribute to the emotional impact of the second part. This is the more emotional half, maybe unfortunately. But then an epilogue comes along to end it on a positive note, and some of the ideas that are discussed in it rank among my favorite parts of this movie. The Brutalist is long, but it is undeniably amazing from a technical standpoint, and also interesting from a story standpoint, and has the emotional impact needed as well. This is kind of a front runner for award season, and a few moments of self-indulgence aside, that's not surprising.